Hello again, everyone. I may have said how lucky I am many times that people do send things to me for me to try out. I do apologise if I kind of don't get round to some of the things because I do get sent quite a lot. I am, as I say, I'm very fortunate. One thing I've been sent recently is more napkins. And so today I thought I would have a go at a Christmas card using something from this napkin in a mixed media, obviously, sort of style. So usually my first thing to do is to add some colour to the base, to the panel that I'm working on. So I've got a panel here, and often I have used a stencil that I've made with these dies. These are from Sizzix, and they're kind of splat dies. So I thought today, I think it's probably the first time that I've ever used them as they were intended as a splat. So I've got a scrap of designer paper here. This is donkey's years old. The one thing I did think about when I was putting this down on my base like this, I thought I would kind of like to have them arranged like that. But if I just put them anywhere on the piece of paper, the two colours, the two bits might not sort of blend together properly. So I'm going to try and put them that way, in that orientation, onto this piece of paper to cut it out. I don't know if you kind of see where I'm at, but if I had one of these as a dark bit and then this one was very light, with the two together in that position, they may not have looked kind of compatible. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to choose the lighter side of the piece of paper. So we'll just pop this onto my cutting plate and we'll cut those out. I have never tried using paper as a base, a colour base for one of my mixed media type cards. So let's get this out. Looks like a little person there, doesn't it? Like a little angel almost. There's the wings going down, the arms going forward, there's the head, here's the skirt, and there's the feet. Hadn't spotted that before. There are some tiny little bits, but I don't know that I will kind of use those, but we will see. And the larger piece. So there's some little bits, little dots and things in here, but I don't know if I'm going to be bothered with sticking tiny little pieces on. You're obviously intended to, otherwise they wouldn't be cut out, would they? And I fancied it kind of like that, or was it like that? That fits quite nicely, doesn't it? So let me stick them down like that. I'm going to use some Liquitex matte medium for this. Right, get a brush. I'm going to glue the back first. Okay. That's quite nice, isn't it? It's a little angel, look. It's interesting, isn't it? Okay. I'll be using that again in a moment or two, so just put it over there. Right, the next thing I'd like to do is to add a little bit of stamping. And I thought this one would be interesting. There's some little stars there that I thought would be rather nice. This is one of the sets I got it from Amazon. I'll try and put a link at the bottom. And I picked some frayed burlap. I'm hoping this colour's going to be okay. The other one, the go-to one, is Pumice stone. I'll just try this somewhere where it may be covered up, so I won't worry if I if I don't like it. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, that's fine. All right. That's the pumice stone lid. Here's the frayed burlap lid. Okay. Put those over there. Now, I wondered about this one too. Oh, that's a nice one, isn't it? That one there. Let's have this one. This one is more contrast. Oh, that one. Decisions. Let's try this one. I'm going to use the frayed burlap for this one. The pumice stone, I mean. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Okay. Right, stamping done. You may see this here. This is what I'm thinking of is my main embellishment, because I thought I'd have that on there, big and bold. But let's get some of these elements from the napkin onto my panel. I do have a stencil there to have a go at. Now, napkins are always either 2 or 3 layers, and I'd like to split them. Can't. I'll be able to do it probably when I've taken a piece out. I thought we'd have some of these, and I like the, perhaps I'll have these two. I like these two. I'll get some water coming out would help. There is some water in. Let me just use a brush. That'll take a while to get that going. Got water at the back there. I wonder if I can get them apart. Yes, I can now, you see. There we go. That'll be better. The more translucent these are, the better the effect I think will be. Just make it a very subtle bit of imagery and texture. Oh, can't get them apart. Can't do it. Never mind, I'll use it as it is, not to worry. What else shall we have? A bauble. Let's have a bauble. I like this one. Somebody told me a good way to separate the layers, and I can't remember what it was. Something to do with wetting your fingers and doing something, I think, but just tried that a moment ago. Didn't work. Oh, we just might have to have double layer. Would that be enough, I wonder? Maybe a bit of the branch. Okay. Right. I think those pieces may well be enough for the moment. So let me get my Liquitex bit back and we'll see if we can do this. Now, these should be fine because they're double layer. Even double layer, you can still see what is underneath. So that's brilliant. I don't know if this is going to take on the back. Yes, it's fine. There we go. The colours are quite a good match for the napkin, aren't they? About there. Okay. Let me try next. I think I want something there, actually. What can I choose? There's a little star here, or a poinsettia. Let's have a little star. Just wetting the tissue forges a path. It just relaxes the fibres, and you can just tear it. Oh, what am I doing? Putting on water instead of Liquitex. Let's get a bit more. Okay. Unusual colours for Christmas, isn't it? Nice though. Okay, next thing I thought I would like to do is some embossing, with my embossing paste. I've got a snow flurry sort of stencil there. And here I've got some of my embossing paste that I have mixed with some microbeads, tiny, tiny microbeads. I'll show you the pot. I have had these for years, and, you know, I've hardly used them. When I've tried to put them into things or onto things, they run everywhere. They're absolutely minuscule. So I've put some of those into some of my regular embossing paste. It's not clear, it's white. And I'm going to pop that through the stencil. So let's put this over, and I'm just going to do this sort of vague area-ish. And then I hope to add a little bit of twinkle to that. So let's get a bit of this. You'll probably hear that it's very gritty, and it's quite hard to get it through the little holes of the stencil. So we'll just try our best. Oh, that's pretty. That is pretty. Let's put some twinkle onto that. Now, a lot of that twinkle has stuck to the Liquitex, but I should be able to just wipe some of that away with a soft brush. I don't want to damage the embossing paste, but let me just hold this over here. If I go like this, it does remove quite a lot from between. So there we go. There's quite a lot coming off. I don't know if you can see. I'm happy to have quite a bit of the twinkle because it is Christmas card after all. There we go. Nice. Okay, now the one thing I must do is just clean my stencil and my palette knife. So I'll do that right now. Well, my stencil's all clean, my palette knife is all clean, and I have cut out one of these baubles. This was from a set of 3. I thought I would remember where I got them, but I really can't remember. I'm not sure if it was with a magazine or what. But I also dug out a press cut, one of my nesting dies, which is of a similar size, that I thought I could just cut a background for so that we can have, you know, some twinkle or something. And I tried twinkling one. This was from a piece that was a bit too narrow, but it didn't matter because it kind of fits behind without any problem. I was thinking of making this gold, and I've got raided my box of things that I've had again for a long time for anything that was not just a plain gold, something that had got a bit of twinkle in it. This one is a Nouveau one, and it's called Glitter Embossing Gold Enchantment. That's that one. This one is called Golden Egg. It's got kind of white bits in it by the look of it. This is a really old one, $3.99. You can tell it's old, can't you? An old heated up one. Gold Tinsel. This is one that IndigoBlu used to do. Glorious ultra thick. This is ultra thick. I don't think they do that anymore, but that is a fabulous one. I ought to probably use that. This one is the one I used on some cogs yesterday. And this one is just a black twinkle. What's this one called? Glitter Noir. Okay, so we can decide. I think we're going to probably avoid the Glitter Noir. I think I'm going to try this ultra high. Now, what I have got to do my heating is be very careful with this, because it's switched on, my new little pancake maker. This I can, and you see this is where I was trying earlier, a piece of parchment inside, put my embossing powder in there, and it will just, the heat will do it. No blowing. So if you want it ultra high, it kind of works. So let me just do that. Let's try this one, ultra high. Some Versamark here. This has got quite a short lead on it, but I've managed to get my extension lead close enough to have it up on my desk. Okay, so we've got some Versamark onto the shape, and the joy of doing it in a pancake maker rather than using your heat tool is the fact that you can have it piled fairly high, the embossing powder, and just pop it in, and you get a fabulous effect. So let's try with this one. It is quite thick. I think I'll try just a little more. So we'll take it out, just wait for it to cool for a moment, because if I just put the embossing powder on straight away, it may stick in some places into the molten powder that's already there, or it may go kind of blotchy because, some cooled off a little. So I'm just waiting for it to cool. I think it's probably cool now. Put some more embossing powder on. Whenever I'm doing triple embossing, I always add Versamark between layers, whereas I think, the original instructions said just add your extra powder to the molten layer underneath, but I just like to make sure it gets on evenly. Okay, put some more of this on. At the moment, you see there's more at the top than there is at the bottom. This is really thick. Okay, let's try that. I think that will probably do. I'll pop it onto the sheet, the silicone sheet. Now that will just need to cool down, and while it is, I'm going to put this away. Let's see what we think about the gold. Not too sure about that. Let's try just plain. Don't like that too much. I think what I'm not too keen on really is the fact that this gold is kind of in my face. So I could do one of two things really. Well, I could do one of many things I expect, but what I'm thinking of is I could either cool this right down and then crack it in lots of places so it looks crazed, and then ink over so that the ink goes into those crevices. I think it used to be called Crackleglaze technique. I could do that. Or probably quicker and more easy would be to stamp it with a crackle stamp. Let me try that. Put it onto a block. There we are, and I think I will use a dark brown ink. Fallen Leaves, that's what I was after. I'll ink it all over just in case I decide somewhere different to put it. Okay, let's go. That's a bit more subtle, isn't it? Doesn't show up incredibly. How about a Stazel? Timber Brown. Is that going to rub off? Yes, that will rub off. Let me just wipe that off. And we will try it with the Stazel. Okay, let's do this. Hasn't been used for years, this, so I don't know if it's still got any life in it. Looks like probably not much. I'm not sure if I have a refill for this. A re-inker, should I say. Let's try. It's about as subtle as the other one was. Not quite so much in your face as the previous one was. Let me put the twinkle background behind it and see what that looks like. Perhaps I will use the twinkle. Right, this one, this twinkle, not the other twinkle. Let me just stick these two together. Right, let's hope, hopefully that will stick. Trying to stick to the embossing, this glitter is going to be quite tricky. Need to just pop it under a weight. Now, practically the last thing to do is to do a sentiment. This is the bauble is under a weight. Trying to get the two pieces to stick together, and for the sentiment I've chosen Christmas from this Woodware set and Happy from the birthday one. So they're in here, and I wanted to get, oh, what's happening there? That's not picked it up. Let me just see if I can pick that up. What I have done is to stick a little bit of that designer paper onto a piece of card, because the paper's not thick enough for what I want. I'm going to stamp and emboss those two things in gold onto this and then cut them out to put them on. I don't think it's bold enough. I think I'll just do it onto white. I don't think I like that very much. I thought it was a good idea, but didn't care for it. Right, let's do this again. I'm just onto a piece of plain card. Well, here are my 2 bits of sentiment. I'll just cut these out. Right, happy and Christmas. They may have to have a bit of gold, because at the moment they don't kind of go, do they? Let's put a ribbon on this. I think they're going to have a bit of gold to try and just tie them in. So let's go around and under. Now I want to get this through here. And then I can tie it just in a single knot. There we are. I'll just trim that off. Right, let's have a look and see. Perhaps we'll have a bit of ribbon going over the top like that, shall we? Yes, maybe we do. I will just fold this to get it narrower. And I think I will tape that bit onto here. Then I'll put a glue dot on the back of the bow. Okay. And then we can stick the ribbon to the glue dot. Keep it doubled. There we go. And then that can go on there, and that can go over the top like that. So it all looks like it's all very cleverly tied, but it's nothing of the sort, really. Okay. Now these, they need to be linked somehow to this, so I'll put some gilding wax around the edge. See if that does the trick. If not, we'll have to think again. This is just my eyeshadow applicator. Looks better already. There we go. Happy Christmas. Those can go onto foam tape to make them stick up a bit more. That can go absolutely flat because it's kind of sticky uppy anyway. And then it's going to go onto its base. What a difference a little edge made. Let's cut that off. Wrong scissors. It would have worked, but not to worry. Right, a bit of glue on the back of this. I think I'll use tape runner. On thinking about it, I will use some actual glue as well, because there's some raised bits there and I want it to be actually get down to the surface of the card. So I'm going to put dots on like this. This will make sure some of it gets down to the card itself. Right. That can go over. I'll do that presently and just be stuck on the back with a piece of sticky tape. So I just pop these on. Right, piece of tape. Now this needs to go onto the card base. Well, I've attached my panel to the base and I think we're kind of done. But it was an interesting one. I do like the colours. Thank you so much for the napkin, and another mixed media card has found its way onto my channel. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the process, and you'll come back and see me very, very soon.